That was a short session. I'll probably upload this episode and the previous short one in the same time. In case you're wondering, that was my health insurance calling me. Apparently they wanted to tell me that I can get certain receipts or stuff for free. So I can take him there and I can get the money back. I don't know why they had to tell me that now, but apparently it was important enough to call me. So let's get back to what we were supposed to do. Oh shit, there are 2 black holes. I'll take that one. And let's play Out There the Omega Edition. We'll skip the travel animation. Now I could go in here. Well, let's just do that. Dangerous atmosphere, so we will take damage from it. And we can't do anything here because we do not have the thing we need. So let's travel to that white dwarf instead. And skip the travel animation. Another astounding tale. I came across a huge energy ball, shiny and colorless, that seemed alive. It grabbed my ship with curiosity. Since I was sure I was living my last moments, I quickly put on my spacesuit. Smart move, because it took me out of the ship by some kind of teleportation. I was examined briefly, then it fled. It took me several hours to get back to the ship. Weird. We have lost oxygen, and a fair amount of it. Let's refill that. I should have taken more of that with me. But as luck might have it, we might actually... So yeah, right now I'm somewhat desperate in search for an oxygen planet. Let's quickly stop here. Land here. And use those 8 bits of fuel. Because we might find a fuel pocket here. So you don't really want to completely cram up with fuel, but instead we found something that broke our drill again. Now you see I can repair it with Omega as well. I don't want to do that though. I just want to fix it. I could take that silicon and get the cryonics back. Let's do that. Let's use cryonics here. Then dump the silicon, because we really don't want all of that. And fill up with iron. And then we'll leave. Now I think this will make us use less oxygen as we travel around. No, not that. Damn it, I wanted to take off here. There's nothing else on for us here. You can also travel to the central star. But as you can see, suicidal atmosphere, you will take a lot of damage. And we currently cannot mine from there. There is an upgrade that allows you to also take fuel directly from stars, which makes it a lot easier to gain fuel. However, keep in mind that you will take damage from it. I check all my alien devices on a regular basis. In order to not forget what I know, I talk to myself. Well, I talk to an imaginary self that watches over me. At times he tells me that I have forgotten something important. Sometimes, to my terror, it tells me things I've never actually known. Okay, that was not as spectacular. I will use some of my hydrogen. Now, one of the mistakes I made in one of the previous games is I actually held onto all the helium, and then I found a new ship, and it couldn't use helium. I think it was fueled by oxygen and hydrogen, and I only had helium left, and I ended up being out of fuel because of that. Yeah, so that was silly. By the way, I can also always travel back. When I refill my oxygen tanks with the air of a garden planet, the smell of the place fills my ship. I take with me the exotic scent of invisible flowers I will never see again, and I sleep among them and they bend my way of thinking. Okay, so this didn't actually refill my oxygen. However, I think it is a good idea to go about those planets in not quite in that order. We will visit this planet last. So I think I will go... yeah, we have enough iron, so I'll go here first. fill up on fuel, then I'll go here, and then we'll go here. Just to get the oxygen back. Because we have enough to basically manage it. Okay, we'll refill. I can't really refill, so let's just fill up. And launch a probe. I found a helium pocket! Woohoo! And scooped a lot of it. Always nice when the day starts off well. That is one of the few good events that can happen when you do that. There are plenty of bad ones. Well, that's actually only one bad one, and that is your probe is either... Actually two. Your probe is either breaking or completely lost. Okay, now go back here. A rocky planet. We'll land on that. We have plenty of fuel, which is great. Now I want to fill that. Don't bother with the fuel, don't bother with the oxygen. And we want to drill here. Oh, our drill got damaged. It's not a big deal. We'll just fix it. And take all of that with us. Take off and make our way to the garden planet. Again, we'll land and there should be life on it. We lost some hull. So yeah, this is why I visited this planet last. You can also visit them several times. And it will always refill your oxygen, because there is a lot of oxygen on those planets. However, let's fill up the ship. Kind of want to wait with that, but that's where it really would come in handy to be able to fuel up later. However, I'll just combine those stacks. We'll probably jettison that for a stack of oxygen. So we'll encounter life first. Didn't we have Rabars in earlier too? Okay, so... I have no idea what it's saying. I'm not going to try to read it out. We can say yes or no. I guess I approve. The alien doesn't want to talk anymore, so I guess I said something wrong. We learned one word, and that is people. If you say the right thing, you often get a technology and or some omega, which is great. Or you get prompted with the choice of giving them some materials from your storage, so it helps to have a lot of those. And sometimes you even know the word they use, so you know what they want from you, which is always great. Let's just drill here. Let's not do that too often. Okay, let's replace the drill. And now... that was less oxygen than I had hoped for, but we should be fine. We just might need to look for another garden planet very soon. There are also way more add-ons to the ship than that, so it is quite possible to essentially fill up the ship with add-ons, and that is a bad idea because you then have nothing to store fuel in. So I usually decide on whether I want a new ship or not just by the fact that this ship has more space than my ship, so I usually try to just get the bigger ship. Okay, we're almost out of fuel. I think we've basically explored this system fully, so let's go to the... Which route do I want to take? This looks like an easier way. Let's actually go here. It uses slightly more fuel, let's get that. On my way to the next star system, I received a very strange radio transmission. Hoping for the best, I changed my route to track it. Red herring. It was just an electromagnetic burst coming from a small and lost star. Hope is painful. I have lost fuel. Well, conveniently I have fuel, and this is something you want. This is an abandoned ship. We'll orbit it. Now those can be your ships too. Oh wow, this is amazing. Like, look at those specs. By the way, power is, I think, the amount of... basically the range of your space folder. And the amount of fuel you use. I don't know which. It might be both of those. So it's basically your traveling range. ecosystem is how much oxygen you use up as you go, and resistance is how much damage you're taking, for example, from various planets. We'll show the cargo of this ship. Oh my god. Okay, no. No, no, and no. I cannot learn this, and by the way, that's something you should probably know. Things that require a certain piece of equipment need to be placed next to it. So I would have to build this next to the space field in order for it to take effect. So I don't know why I would want this ship, because it doesn't really get me anywhere. I wonder, can I take it over for a minute and then... We'll take it over for a moment, because I'll get an achievement. And then I'll take over my old ship. By the way, you always start with a full ship, so I would probably take this and then hope I'd get a better ship in the meantime. Not sure I would. I'm also not sure how much stuff it needs in order to move on and fuel itself. But yeah, I don't really want to risk it. I mean, it might be a very, very efficient ship, and I wouldn't actually need any other. But I don't want to. I mean, it's flying around in a giant space insect, which again is actually not that bad. I mean, it sounds like fun. Anyway, what are we short on? We're kind of short on fuel, so let's visit the gas giants here. We have plenty of metal around, so we shouldn't need to visit those. Now, sometimes you can find technologies on the rocky planets as well. But right now we don't need that. I'll just fill up here. Just making space, you know. Launch the probe. It requires repairing. So it's a lot of this. So I'm not sure how entertaining the series is. I will look into it and then see how well it will be received. Okay, let's drill this as well. Actually might need to do some mining later on. Yeah, I think we'll have to mine one planet. Empty this, and probably also empty this. Now, sometimes you find those planets and you drill them, and then you see, okay, you didn't actually get as much stuff out of it as you had expected. Like in this case, it was actually okay. The haul wasn't good, but it also wasn't too shabby. Let's go here and grab the ores we can get. I don't need this helium. Let's just fill up and then drop this. I can select this and then select drop, or I can also split, which is useful, for example, because if I drag it here, it will use all the omega until my stuff is full. So if I want to, for example, use... Well, let's say sometimes a ship uses the same material in two things. For example, you have ships that use oxygen as both fuel and, oxygen. So you want to split your stacks. So, for example, if you're low on both and you only have one stack, you really want to not use the entire stack on one thing, unless it's very low. Okay, let's also fill up with oxygen, because we kind of need that. So next stop should be a garden planet. We'll just drill here and repair the drill again. This also wasn't a haul as good as I had hoped, but we got one full iron stack and a bit to spare, so that is enough for now. Okay, let's take off and visit the next system. Don't think there's much point in dallying around here. Also, yeah, I can travel back as I desire, so if sometimes you have a ship and it's too broken down, so you kind of travel around to gather the resources to fix that, and then you come back and it's all fine. There is no problem with that. You just need to have some fuel to spare. Okay, there's my countdown. I don't know why the audio of my phone did that. Let's travel here. skip the animation again. It's hard to change direction at faster than light. Sadly, I didn't see that huge white space wail in front of me. My engines cut a huge gash across its side. I feel awful about it, but its internal fluids flowed over my ship and somehow repaired my hull. What an unpleasant irony. That's a shame. So, we've got our hull fixed, and next episode we'll probably just fly on, because we're still good on everything but oxygen. So the more we dally around here, the more oxygen we are going to lose, for little to no gain. So, until next time, bye!